Hey, Bri, doesn't it suck that the boss is always over our shoulder when we're trying to talk?
Jay, he should be entertained by us. Let's get out of here and finish this conversation.
All right, as long as it's not work related.
Jay!
B.
How's it going?
I am at my best, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. I want to welcome everyone to the Work-Related Podcast.
We are that absentee. They're going to take our account away on Twitter for the Related by Work.
On X, yes.
Definitely nothing posted.
No.
Nope. I'm still in the algorithm.
Yep.
The algorithm's getting me mad at Trudeau. I'm going to get my flag. Fuck Trudeau. But at least I'm not on TikTok because they're not going to ban me on that.
Yeah.
I don't want to jump in on that, man. But you got me all buzzed about our off-air work-related topics.
Yes.
Because there's too many names involved. We've said, it's funny, the people already know we have like lots of names are involved in the first place.
Yep.
But I guess what's the hesitation? Like the hesitation is is like, I'm not even saying we talked about not talking about it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I guess, yeah, like what's the hesitation? Like, why do you think we had to talk about that off air? Is it too personal?
I think some things are, I don't know if it's so much personal, but like it's probably some of the things we would say is unprofessional, I would say.
Okay, that's a good, well, because we don't know how to, I don't know if it would have been unprofessional and to talk about it, I think, and not to, like, It's so vague for the people here. It's just that it's not personal between you and I think it's, and it's odd because I'm stumbling over my words now, we don't have a concise conversation about it.
Yeah.
Like it's an open-end conversation.
Yeah.
That
if we had something that we took from it, which we've done before, we would talk about it on the show. But.
I think we probably talk about a lot of things to try to get to the point. I think it's a fun for me, but it must be fun for other people too. Like it's good to hear that. You know what I mean? It makes a true conversation.
Yeah.
And not to deny the people what this part is, but it's I think the hesitation to talk about it is, again, it's like we don't really know what it is. And it's fucking a lot of he said, she said stuff.
Yeah.
Like we do have to be a little conscious of, like, not that if it ever gets out, like we'd be fucked, but if it ever gets out, you know what I mean? Like just like that hesitation, but not putting people on blast, which is odd too. We've done that.
Yeah.
But not to make you talk about it or just to get into it like that. And it's like a little political shit too, right? It's more political than gossip, that's for sure. Is that you giving Booby all the grace you can. This is an example. I'm not trying to throw you on or make you on the spot right here.
Yeah.
This is just another example of you not wanting to put this on, air it out here, because you wish for him not to be in his way so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And it's not that the problem is it's affecting you more than you want it to now.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just, and you're caught in this thing where the shift is so big that you need him or it's somebody. And since it's him now, just in a like a hypothetical situation, what if it's not him now? Right? Like that's a question that might have been presented to you.
Yeah.
And that's a tough answer.
It is, because obviously my job would be so much harder.
Yeah.
And then how do you have, like, because I've known him for 6 years at this company, it was 5 years, going on 6. And we have a certain type of relationship. Like it's easier to say certain things to him or to give him shit. The thing is, I'm developing relationships with that with other people.
True. I get that.
So, but in terms of the whole package, it's just hard for you. Like you take the whole package of somebody and then you look at them and you say, well, these are the cons and these are the pros. Outweighing they're kind of even with him. It's kind of even.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get it.
But you could have less issues with someone who's going to do not as much as him, but then you have to pick up the slack.
It's just,
or you could just have the perfect person to do it.
Yes. Listen, you're right. I've already placated to your wishes or your manipulation of fucking me in a fucking personal way. I take it in a way because it's fun. You know, you got to troll somebody. But like I said, I've gotten out of my own way in certain ways. Like you recognize, you know what I mean? When it comes to teaching somebody or being things, like you see that. Now you're talking in a way that you've always tried to convince me to go on nights.
Yeah.
Most of it at the beginning was just to have like a friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, I'm alone out here. I just know this. now you're using me as a recognition, like to recognize, like, oh, you know what? Fuck, Jay, if you came here, they would throw all this money at you to come on your fucking new shift. Like,
Yep.
don't you want more money?
Yeah.
Listen, we all want more money. Yeah, like I don't get my time back, and I don't want to be involved in all your fucking hassles. I got my own problems.
Maybe you could stifle a lot of those
I could probably
hassles.
fucking stifle. I could come in there and help you out, but you ask for help so many times that I just don't want to. No, you don't. You're right. That's a thing. Like, that's what you can do that, but you've only been given booby.
Yeah.
Right. And so you've been like I mentioned on a couple of shows ago or whatever, that you're raising another kid and teaching him how to be a leader. And that kind of on the job training is very foreign to me. Right. Like, I've never really watched a leader like form themselves. I guess I could say that about you and Marcel, even like Ali. Like, I remember when he wasn't Ali, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, even like, let's go to Sean. Like, Sean was a fucking hands-off leader.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he didn't
100%.
give a fuck.
Yep.
And he would talk to you in a way that I don't know how he talked to other people, because he could get his message across to me. He never really had to get many messages across, but he never really hassled me about anything. Like, nobody even comes to me and hassles me about how long something takes, how this is. Like, I got a lot of grace.
Yep.
So a lot of these problems, I would fucking be such an idiot to get myself involved in, like, to deal with other people. But I know how it can kind of be done with all these other examples. I think Booby only has you as an example, and forgive my ignorance, what he thinks the culturally right thing to do is, right? Because it's been brought up, like, oh, my culture, this and that, and he's dealing with a lot of people from his culture. So he's got to I think he feels he has to represent. He's stifled by these so-called rules where you can't say that weld is shit. Or you're a shitty welder, which that's my school. Like, that's my culture. Like, it's so
absolutely.
We didn't make this fucking politically correct world or worlds of forums or, you know what I mean, people's feelings. Like, my feelings weren't considered. They are now, so I have to consider other people's feelings too.
Exactly.
And so he doesn't get any grace from that. But it is why he acts like he does.
It is, but you gotta be smart enough to adapt, man. Like, the world is ever changing. What are you gonna do? Be stuck in your ways the whole time?
No, you can't. I don't want to be like that. I recognize the ease on that happening, but it's not a benefit to let that happen. Those people are using Rotary phones right now still?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I
they
get
still
it.
have it on the wall.
And they're in their way.
Yeah.
They're in their way.
Yeah,
and so
for no reason.
That's where I recognize that's where Booby's in his way, where he like takes on stuff like about production and all that, but it's affecting your shift now, right? And so yeah, I don't know how you go from like, well, I do. You just stop thinking about his feelings, and you just say fucking like some kind of demotion almost has to be in place.
Yeah, and like that's some of the
My
pushback.
thought is
That's
you
some of the
haven't said that.
pushback I've get on. Yeah, I haven't said it, but people have said it to me, you and another person, and they just say you can't. You should be just worrying about yourself, because if you constantly get screwed over because you're worried about somebody else.
Oh,
then
you
what does that,
personally?
Yes.
Oh, I get it.
What does that leave you? And I'm like, I don't know. It's very hard for me just to want to do something like that.
So where's the difference come in where we watch the Sugars of the world come in, and they're actually decent at what they do, but the baggage they bring isn't worth what they do. And you almost have to say, fuck, we're going to lose this guy's productive 44 hours, but he's not going to fucking start a revolution, or we're not worried about when he might not come in, or whatever the problems is with this person. You eventually just go, it's not worth the fucking, the hassle. That's easy to see when it's a physical thing. Like it's you already have to be reluctant. I'll just get it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll get however many hours of work I can out of this guy, and we'll deal with this and that for however long it is. If the person's abusive, they go. If they're, you know what I mean? Like they show up late all the time and they don't show in, they go. And you just like bite the bullet.
Yeah.
When do you bite the bullet when it comes to making a leader? Right? Like your kids, you bite the bullet at 18. We've gotten that point from you, you know? Like this is why you added Booby to your list of kids. But you do all the shit you do. You know what I mean? Like we can argue or not argue. We can talk about if they should just play soccer if they want to, or if they're good at it or not, or like showing them other opportunities. And you know, like you go from your own example or newer examples that you've learned, but now you're like in charge of a company. And so this guy's almost doing shit that Sugar's was doing.
Yeah.
Right. But now it's so much stickier because he's like this leadership position. So you need somebody to do the things he does right. So getting rid of him isn't going to help that.
No.
Like the best thing I heard you say is adding a second.
Yeah.
Like you almost say to him in a way like that's a bit more respectful. Says, you know what? We all have, because they're using the we word, like not I. We all have too much on our plates. We all need to like spread out this responsibility. So we are adding somebody else to our team. And it's fucking X, and then fucking like, ooh, so it doesn't. That's fine if your butt hurt. That's up to you. I don't know why you're like that. You already told me you're overwhelmed, so we're gonna change this for that. He'll have to just get over how he takes it. How he takes it.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. But it's not a replacement. You know what I mean? It's not it's a de facto demotion.
Yes.
Right. Like, you know what I mean? And then you slowly get it out, and then you let him decide what happens after that, and then. But like another part of the sticky thing is these issues are not just involved in a product being made. It's how he's acting with the people that he's like leadershiping, being a leader of. And that's where I get it. Like once somebody complains about how you lead them, I guess you would believe the leader first. And then it happens again. Who'd you start believing?
Yeah, like they would usually believe the leader first, but the thing is, when you have a history of certain things,
true,
that kind of support arguments of what people say, that's where it gets muddy, right? Like for me, like I have a history of there's nothing really on my record till recently. There's nothing really on there that they can say, well, Brian has this pattern of this. They do have some things like I'm not overly aggressive. So if they say, well, this guy, if somebody complained that, well, Brian didn't tell me not to do this, they'll be like, okay, you know what? It's probably likely Brian was just not, or Brian just said, whatever, I told you do this, and he just left it alone. You know what I mean? So that's more of I would say that's more of my pattern where my weaknesses are. But when your weaknesses are detrimental, that's where the problem comes in. And Booby has a history of not controlling his emotions, I guess I could say.
Yeah, that's like I said, it's fine when you're me. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not even justifying my own bad behavior at times, but it's fine if that doesn't affect anybody else.
But has your behavior ever been detrimental to somebody else's work?
Not their work. Like, it depends. Only if I haven't helped them do something, right? Like, hey, is this crane tower flush?
Did they fail because of you?
No, that's the problem. They didn't fail because of me. And but no, I'm stretching my responsibility there because I never promised them that rose garden. You know what I mean? Like I've just delivered what they're expecting from me.
Yeah.
Right. So anything else is above and beyond. Like with the whole like the fire truck thing or whatever. Like I felt a little guilty saying no to a request from them.
Yeah.
And it took me no time at all to say fuck. You know what? Like all the other bullshit talk we've had or whatever. It's like no, recognize like this might be a chance to just, you know what I mean? Like I'm in my own way here.
Yeah.
Like I'm being a little like rotary phone-ish here.
Yeah.
And so that's like, but I don't know if that's a learned quality. You know what I mean? That's not a natural thing for me to do. But you know what I mean? Like you said, it's like somebody who wants to be that leader will never have the might not have the qualities to do that job. They just want the power that comes with it, or the ability, and that's what's apparent with him. So anyway, I'm sorry we even brought it up. I brought it up. The adding of a second, no matter who it is.
Yeah.
It's not me, but if the adding the second,
not yet.
That's it. Is that the fact that that it's just a natural thing, and he can't do anything about it either way. And whatever feelings come in, it's going to help you down the line. And you want to do it. You're going to help this other guy out and give more things, and it'll make things run smoothly. And I think I don't know why we thought about it before, or I thought about it before. That's how you get out of this mess. That's how you get, because it doesn't look bad at all.
Yeah.
It's a proper promotion of this person.
Absolutely.
It's deserved.
Yeah.
And eventually, he could supersede all of fucking Booby's fucking responsibilities.
Yeah.
And that's what you don't want to fucking have an emergency. Like what happens if he doesn't show up? Like you already have to worry about when you don't show up,
Yeah.
what you're leaving. It's not your place. It's not your this, but you have a certain feeling like, oh, I hope my guy Booby, you know what I mean? Like does me proud or doesn't fuck me, not fuck you over, but does a decent enough job. Not just because it reflects on maybe you, because you're the one who got him to there, but just for the company's sake, for the shift's sake, our sake.
Yes.
Right? Like, and so we done this.
The team.
And so that's why in a team way, you're like, oh, I hope it goes well when I have to take Thursday off or a week off, right? So the person you're better at it. And the person, like the whole team, you've had the team conversation about adding the second person. So it's not just your idea. It's everybody else's idea as well.
Yeah.
And so it's just a natural progression. It's how you're going to get bigger and have more confidence to leave and not worry about the state of it because there'll be a real adult in charge. And if he ends up superseding him, then that's just it happened naturally.
Exactly.
That's how leaders become leaders.
Absolutely.
You superseded everybody because you were willing to do things that Johnny and I, just for argument's sake, weren't willing to do.
Yeah.
And that opened up a door for you. It just turned out you're pretty good at it too. But you're also, like I said, you're getting better at it.
Yeah.
So this might be a way like, okay, well, whatever. Like I'm at a breaking point now, like in a way. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like you were more, when I didn't see you the other day, like I was just like, oh man, is he gone? Like you, like, for the first time ever, like the weeks before, you were like, is it worth it? Like in a way, like the 7-year itch is fucking like was getting at you, and I'm like, oh man, like, and so that was like one of the first times.
Indeed, is in my browser history.
Yeah, so I mean that speaks to something. You know what I mean? Like speaks to a frustration that's like real or not. It's real because you did it, but it doesn't have to always be that way.
No, and I would feel like I would have some unfinished. I would leave things unfinished if I just up and left, to be honest.
I don't think you should ever, well, unless the opportunities come above you, because even though I compare it, you know what I mean, like to what they should have been doing or whatever, like the growth of it, I don't know if you'll ever find an opportunity to be in the middle of such growth.
Yeah.
Like, I think you'll regret the opportunity that if you leave and then 10 years down the road, even if you're in a happy position or whatever, and then you start seeing like Wilcox trading on the fucking stock exchange for some other thing, and like Ryan and you know what I mean is up there, you would have been that part of that team.
Absolutely. I think that's you said like when we were talking about before the show how I like to build stuff. I think I like to build this shift and be part of building the company. I think this is actually probably would cure my 7-year itch. And like, I feel like this is something that keeps me motivated because if this once I'm already done with something and it's already good, I would probably be disinterested in it.
True. I get that. I understand that that's what happens to you or a person like thinks like that. There's too much going on for you to be less like disinterested.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like
exactly.
I get what you're saying. Like, this is weird. I'm thinking what you're saying. Like, usually you can do things until you're done. And then you don't think about it anymore or whatever. Like you probably never go back and play you rarely go back and play video games.
Yeah, no.
It's odd. You like watching movies and shows again.
Yeah.
Right. But that's for maybe a different interest, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm not
You're
building
learning more
anything.
each time you're seeing it.
Yeah. I'm still, that's true. I am learning more.
You're looking for more things.
Yeah. It's not like the first time.
It's actually a purpose. That's the purpose of why you're doing it. And you're good at recognizing or whatever. You still want to weld a little bit. You know what I mean? You still wish you everything that you've stopped doing, you didn't do till death's end. Yeah. You did it because you know what I mean? Like you got pulled out of it a bit. But because you got these other rising things and then you still got a lot more on your like ahead of you or whatever. So yeah, you're just not building. That's why you like build Lego faster than I do, because you like don't get to work with your hands anymore. You're dealing with this fucking internal medical shit.
The void.
And that's why I hate living in the void. I have to get out of my own void. But like, I was even thinking about this today. Like I just started my new project that we were talking about like last week or whatever.
Yes, how is that going?
It's so far better than I thought. I haven't gotten to the more frustrating parts of the project yet.
Is it somewhat familiar?
What's that?
Is it somewhat familiar?
It's somewhat familiar. So it's way better designed than most of the things we built.
Yes, because we didn't design.
I get it. I know that. So I recognize that. I love the material. That there's so much to love so far. And I even said this to myself when I was like high. It was a high thought, but I was just like, fucking not, you were talking, like I was thinking about what you said about the kids, I think maybe, and it's like a 9-year-old Jay would fucking die to build a fire truck.
Right?
Like fucking he would fucking turn over, he would build it for free.
Are you serious?
Like you were like, what's wrong with, you know what I mean? Like I'm so jaded that I'm denying myself to do this, like or seeing no joy in it. Right? Like everybody gets so fucking caught up in their head. You know what I mean? Like even you building like a company, like being a part of this. Oh man, like I gotta go do this. Oh, I gotta like it's and a lot of it is bullshit or whatever, right? Of course. But at the end of the day, like what are you doing? And this is so I had that thought before, and I don't think I ever said it to Tammy or whatever. And this is hilarious. Every now and then we'll buy ourselves like gag gifts and some bullshit stuff, right? And or not anymore, budget. But Tammy was like, I guess one of our friends, little kids had a birthday or whatever, like a 2-year-old boy, 1-year-old boy, and that was in hindsight. So I come home yesterday. And I see on the table there's like some gift and there's like a little Fisher Price fire truck. Oh, and part of this was on that same day. She would have already had to know this, but I had to leave late yesterday. Why, Brian? But anyway,
no idea.
Yeah. And so I'm stuck at work till 6:30. So I had to text her that I'm going to be like late.
Stop working so hard, Jay.
I can't. I have to pick up the slack from that night shift.
Exactly.
And so,
man.
the fucking. So my not big plans, but my plans were changed. So I just texted her. I'm going to be working until 6:30 today. And she had asked me how it was going. I didn't start this project till later on. I thought I was going to start Monday. I didn't start it till like Wednesday, or like actually Thursday. And so she kept asking, and I was like, no, not yet, but I'm going to start today. So she was, how's it going? And so I said the same thing, not bad. It's, slow and steady wins the race. And it's hurting my brain a bit because I'm looking at something new, right? Like it's the atrophy of just fucking doing the same old, like the desire to just do the same old, and all that the wrong thinking is so embedded in my head. So I'm just like looking at this fresh with this whole like 9-year-old kid, like just trying to like trick myself into enjoying building this. But it's true. So she was inquiring about it, and I didn't have much to say until the Thursday. So short story long, she sent a little fire truck in the emoji. Nice. I said I'm late. She goes, oh, fire truck champ. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'll see when I see you.
Yeah, man.
So I come home, and there's this Fisher Price fire truck, like a Fisher Price fire truck. I go, this fucking chick. What the fuck? And I didn't say anything. And then whenever we're getting ready for dinner, and she goes, oh my God, I didn't realize what I bought Riley. And I go, so it wasn't for me. I go, fucking, it's for the baby. I go, but how's that? And then I just, all in my head, I just reaffirmed that, of course. Like, listen to this, fire truck.
Fire truck, man.
It almost looks like one of our trucks.
Yeah.
Right? And so I'm just like, fucking, what an idiot. Like, so I'm denying myself doing that. If I had stuck to my guns and just like on fucking bullshit principle, never mind, nothing to do with upping up the company or doing my part in the growth of the company, and not even recognizing that they give me the Fridays. I have to stop saying no to their request. And so like, it's right here in front of you. It still took me a long time to do it. And it's like, oh man, look at that. Like, it's almost, you know what I mean? Like it's made for you to do.
It is.
And so, you know what I mean? Like, so I think it's going to go well.
Yeah. I'm happy.
I did tell them, it's funny. I did tell them that I would have rather waited till Monday because I wanted Johnny to be there.
Yeah.
Because the only other person that works on him is Tariq.
Yeah.
And longtime friends of the show will know that we don't really talk highly of Tariq.
No.
He's not dumb, but he's a little too smart, and he's slimy.
Yeah.
But
he is a good worker.
He's not dumb. Yeah, he can be a good worker. Define good worker.
His jobs aren't shit, and he gets them on time.
He gets jobs done on time, but he's a dissender.
Yes.
He causes problems.
Yes.
You don't really, if you're on his bad side, you're fucked.
Yeah, don't trust him. If you're on your good side, don't.
Yeah, I'm not on his bad side. I still really don't trust him or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I think people that don't present themselves as pushovers are harder for him to manipulate.
Yes.
Right? Like, I think he enjoys finding that, like looking for, even if you're not a pushover, he's going to fucking try to, I'm naming it like a T or a Johnny. He might just find their weaknesses and prey on those, right? Like, he's always searching.
But to be honest, I say this all the time. I still like the guy though. There's a certain thing about him that,
he's enjoyable to talk to sometimes.
Sometimes in moderation, right? In moderation, he's like carbs.
He's like carbs. He's like the bad carb. No, because I'm like Jones for carbs.
No, he's like bad carbs.
I know
like bad
Jones for
carbs.
fucking Tariq. I tolerate fucking Tariq. No, Tariq's like vegetables.
No, vegetables are great.
No, they're not like carbs.
Yeah, true.
Vegetables, you kind of know you have to. You don't want to throw them out.
Yes,
You don't
that's
want to. You
true,
know what I mean?
that's
Like,
true, that's
there's a
true.
goodness to them.
You gotta
And
have,
then you're
at
eating
least
them,
have
like,
them in the fridge.
These carrots
you know?
aren't so bad. You got to keep them in the fridge. You got to sprinkle them around every now and
Yeah,
then.
some ranch dip, you're good to go.
No, you can't. That takes the point away. Tariq with ranch dip. The fucking guy.
Oh
So
my God.
I had to work with it, and he was. It was. I'm not gonna see a joy, but it wasn't as. What's it? It was all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I got out of him what I needed to get out of him.
He has good ideas, man.
He was
really
more
does.
helpful than I thought.
Yeah.
He was, and also it was funny.
Yeah.
Like you can joke around with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can poke fun at me. I can poke fun at him at just random shit. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to even describe because like it's not even worth trying to. But you know what I mean? Like within the day of the conversation with him, I can deal with him. He does every now and then take it to a personal space. Like
Yeah.
I don't mind that. Like he'll talk about his kids a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like Ramadan. That he'll talk about the prayers a little bit.
Yeah.
Whereas on my fucked up TikTok or my fucked up Twitter algorithm will show me the cultural enrichers, you know what I mean? Like taking over a town square in Germany or New York or whatever and put a negative spin on it.
Yeah. for
He
sure.
shows me a mosque prayer, like a prayer in Times Square, and I respect it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's not like it's like, oh, this is what's really got to go on. Like it was like a decent site. You know what I mean? Nothing for me or not that, but there was no negativity in it. Like he's like, look how, you know what I mean? Like whatever. He was proud to show that. Just in his prayer, like whatever Ramadan thing's going on. I go, oh, that's interesting, man. That must be nice to see. And he's like, yeah. And he was talking about the prayers in a way. Then he gets to his son, like, who is old enough now that doesn't want to go to prayers with him. You know,
Yeah.
can you drop me off at my friends and
Yeah.
my friend? But we're going to the same place. Yeah, but
Yeah, you know.
and he's got his other little son that is still, you know, with him 100% and all that. And he wasn't lecturing. He wasn't even teaching. He was just talking about himself. And there was
Yeah.
no agenda to that.
Yeah.
So non-agenda Tariq, I'm all about.
That's when he's in his best.
Yes. And he did have an agenda to kind of help me out. I do think, like I told you before, if there's the three of us, me, him, and Johnny, he's helping me out. So I'm more on his side. Than like there's always a team, I think, with him.
Yeah.
And I get, but I don't ask much from him, so I don't get disappointed if I get some from him. So anyway, it went well. The funny thing was, like, this is already because we both have had issues with the finger curl guy that I talked about a few weeks ago at work. You know what I mean? And I told the finger curl guy when he asked me a question, "Did you look at the book?" Right,
Yes.
which was a very valid question, a very valid response to an answer. Before I could even ask him something, he was fucking like he was ready to give me that answer right back.
Yeah.
He should have waited until I asked him something so he could have made me that response. But he was all ready to go with like, look at the book, motherfucker, before you come and ask me about something. And when you just try to figure it out. So this is how I wanted to do it from the beginning and look at the designs and see how it is and go from there, make my own mistakes, I guess you could put it. And so by just kind of doing it myself, he would be the one to kind of come over and say, like, how's it going? And not be like, hey, I see you doing it like this, do it like this. But wait for me to say, like, hey, you know what? I was having a problem, like, getting this part to come in more. Do you start at the front and the back and then do the middle? Or do you, like, start from one end and go all the way to the other? Like, it's just a description of something being built. And I know I have my ways. And I was like, am I having issues because I'm doing it my way? And then so by asking a guy like a question like that, he can go, oh, no, I do it like that too. Or, no, I do it this way.
Yeah.
But that's a way better question than how do I do this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how do I do this? It's kind of that's how it becomes annoying.
Exactly.
Right? Like, then now I'm teaching you right from the jump. So there's more of a respect factor, like we've talked about it before. So it's like, oh, you kind of get this. So then I just kind of have to help you over the edge.
Exactly.
So I'm sure I'm going to need a lot more helping over the edge. He even said the same thing to me that I said before. Like, once I get to my second or third one of these, that I won't be as nervous or I'll like it. And he's animate. Like he's for sure. He goes, by your second one, you're gonna love building these.
Yeah.
He goes, I would never want to go back to building the other trucks.
Yeah, he tells me he's like dependable. This is its thing. The drawings are better. And I guess he feels a little bit of the prestige.
There's
If
ownership to it.
There is ownership to it because it's mostly you. I mean, he, how he is. He tries to spew the prestige thing of it to everybody else when that's not really part of it. Really.
I don't get it like that.
It is a fire truck, but like I don't know. I think they're cool. I like how they're built. I like that. I like the material is a different type of a material. Like I think I've welded on it and it seems nicer. So I like all that. I like how they're designed. Some of the frustrations that you were talking about before, like fitting things into the box, or like the bracing is a big one because when I've had to move them, the ones that are braced incorrectly, when you have to remove that brace, the body just shakes. Like you take that brace out and the body's like rocking and like it just makes me very nervous and shit like that. Tariq's bodies are never like under extreme pressure. I don't know how he does it.
So he mentioned, he goes, that's one of the things he said. He said like fucking, because Johnny wasn't there and Tio had to cut all of Johnny's braces off.
Yeah, it's brutal.
And he was like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
It's
and
brutal.
So he's like, he was describing how he does, like how, he overtax or overwelds his braces on. And he was like, I just do this. And I go, yeah, but what if it breaks? He goes, if it breaks, that means something was really wrong. Right. And he goes, and so the funny thing is that I'm not adverse to bracing. Like I am I'm a like an over bracer, over clamper fucking type of guy. So it might be, it's just the unknown. Like it's just, so I'm a little bit over that. The prestige part is funny because I've used the word ownership instead of prestige maybe before because that's what there is none of for the rest of the company in my mind. Yeah. The lack of that. Like I don't feel proud of some of the stuff that we've worked on because I haven't worked on the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's not that this is a fire truck that give me more prestige. It's that I get to do the whole thing myself.
Yeah, so that is ownership, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's the difference.
He always does. Well, the prestige thing is he says, I'm working on big bodies type of a thing, and you guys aren't working on big bodies and what? Granted, I said, yeah, he says that to me. I said, those are nice bodies, but I seen what they cost. It's not like they're crazy. They cost around the same as a USB. Granted, the difference is not getting painted, it's not getting wired. So the price is in line, but that's just him trolling.
Yeah.
And I always gotta say, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even this. I'm like, yeah, you are doing a good job. Like, just leave it alone. If he said, I love, like what he says to you, I love building these things. I'm like, yeah. Like they look fun to build. In my opinion, I think they look fun to build.
No, you're right. They are like compared to some of the other things.
Oh yeah, bodies suck.
But they didn't anyway. Like I'm not getting back there. It wasn't always like that.
Yeah,
it wasn't always like. But I get why it has to like change and how it is and whatever. So anyway, I'm embracing it. Like it's just I haven't got into the frustrating parts of it. I can kind of see. Me enjoying it more, like or whatever going in there, and like I said, working with him was not too bad,
and it's new.
Yeah, but like I gotta get over myself for that. Like it's helping my brain or whatever. Like, but it's like I don't seek that out.
Yes, you do.
How
they give you one-off bodies? You're like, yes, I love.
Oh, I know.
You said on this show several times, I like the challenge of figuring this body out.
Yeah, I mean, I can't deny that.
Yeah,
the problem is
it's recorded.
Yes, you know what? Okay, you know what the difference is though, and this is where but other people do them. Like the one-offs, nobody can compare to Johnny's one-off.
True.
Right? Like it's just like fucking like now. So I get all the praise for doing it and like, oh, it could have been faster, this and that. But look at what he did. It's never like, hey, he didn't do it as good as this guy did. And it's not like this, but like this guy does this. Everybody's going to do something better than somebody else in some kind of ways. And so it might even be time. That's the least thing I could give a fuck about. Like I'm not slow on purpose, but I hate mistakes. So I'll give you to your right, you know what I mean, and do all these like whatever, learn what has to be done. But now it's just like, yeah, part of me is like, oh, like maybe I don't build them better than they do, you know, like or that's like again the negative thought that comes in. It wasn't so much I can't do it. Maybe it was like, oh, I can't do it as good as them. So it's a one-off. It's not like, you know what I mean? It's not a one-off in that same situation. I get to be compared to the other ones. The funny thing was, I don't know if she still works there, but you know, we said that Mandy works at the company now and she inspects them.
I don't think she does anymore, but
Oh, she doesn't? Because
I don't think so.
I was always on good terms with Mandy.
Yeah.
Tammy said you should write a note in the fucking
In the
body
thing
saying,
for
yeah,
her.
this is built by me, so I'll get a little bit more grace
Well,
in there.
Mandy came up on my suggested friends on Facebook.
That's hilarious.
And I was like, I considered adding her, but I didn't. I clicked on her profile and it says she's at Weld Nation or something. Who knows? That's a website that sells welding things. It says
So she might be a salesperson now?
she might, but it says welder at Weld Nation. I didn't know they weld on a website. But hey, I don't know.
So anyway, I was just bringing that up as a...
But-
so far so good.
I'm happy.
Thanks. Well, no, you're never happy. You're always pushing for more.
Yeah,
You want me to fucking be your new nighttime fucking right-hand man.
That would be great.
Telling me I'm getting fucking thousands of dollars fucking added onto my fucking paycheck.
thousands. It's not that little.
Oh shit! I told you too much. You're trying to convince my wife who will not have it.
It's not that little.
I can't have it. Though, if I did,
Not yet.
We do need more money in our budget. That's being a parent, or no, we can budget, but we're having to be budget conscious more than we've ever had to be before to make things work. And so for the first time in a while, she was talking like she might go and start working some like overtime.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, have fun, babe.
No, I thought you were gonna say me too.
It's like, that's good for you. I'll be playing fucking Sony PlayStation at home.
Yeah.
But yeah, more money's more money. But so I don't want to get. I'm going to work shit up, so you can cut me off whenever you want. This is like, I want to get into politics, but I was thinking more about politics more than ever before. But when I was talking with Tariq, and he mentioned, he hinted at some of the shit that was going on that we talked about way before. He never really got into it. I don't think he knew. If he knew more, he would have got into more. And he was saying something, and he said something like, yeah, I don't like getting involved in the politics. And I fucking laughed in his face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're fucking crazy. I said, you fucking love this shit.
Yeah.
Like you're out of your mind, this and that. And he's like, no. I like gossip. I don't like politics.
Mm.
And at first I'm like, is there a difference?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I recognized that there is a difference. And I mean, there's similarities in both. I mean, there's gossiping in politics.
Yes.
But I don't know, like politics gets shit done. Gossiping gets nothing done.
Yes.
Right? But it shows his true trollness. He doesn't want to accomplish anything. He just wants to fucking live in the chaos of gossip.
Exactly. Yes. That explains him to a T.
Yeah. That's how he said it when we were talking about it. And I guess I believe him. I guess like when it comes to social media and politics, like does the line get blurred? Like is it, you know what I mean? Like is it just straight politics, or is it like by just talk? Like isn't gossip just talking? Like are we gossiping about our politicians or like the policies or whatever it is?
If it's not factual.
I think when it comes to politics and it has like consequences, like the actual real world consequences, like the thing that's kind of getting me now is like I hate complaining about taxes, and like the taxes are taxes and it is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if we get the fucking examples of everything we have. I've been conservative most of my life, not because I fucking hate liberal policies, but just the business practicalities have kind of made sense to me. But I'm not carrying any signs.
Yeah.
I'm not like doing this. It's just kind of been my opinion. Tammy's like a bleeding heart liberal. She's always kind of seen it in that way. She's not a Trudeau like supporter, stumper or whatever, but you know what I mean? Like just good enough for her type of thing.
Yeah.
And I've said this before, but it was way in the middle of a fucking long ago podcast. That one thing that changed my mind once before was that I was with liberal friends, the friends that had like bigger families and kids in school and this and that. And the liberal policies were helping them out more than the conservative policies. We didn't have an argument. We were just talking about it.
Yeah.
And they were just like, oh, this liberal policies benefit me and my family for issues that don't concern me at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I just tried to be like, oh, I kind of get why somebody would think that way. I didn't think everybody had to think my way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like MAGA or die or, you know what I mean? Like, or fuck Trudeau. Like, it wasn't always like that at extreme.
Yeah.
It was like a conversation where we can have this, like, oh, like, I love the middle ground of that where I'll flip flop. And one of the biggest side of it, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you feel that way, right? Like,
I get what you're saying.
Are you a diehard political party like person?
No, not really. Like I'm like you. I lean to one side mostly, but then as soon as you start having a lot of issues and stuff that you don't agree with, I'm just like, okay, so what's over here then? Today?
Yeah.
What's over here this term?
Do you look at it in a way that affects you personally, or just like as like general political like theories or statements? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is this by voting this guy, is this going to do this for me, or
I think it's a bit of both. Like, in terms of like taxes and stuff, yes, I see how it's going to affect me, but like income taxes for the year don't affect me as much as it would some people, because I'm not jumping tax brackets where it's like massively changing every year. Like, I'm happy if I don't pay at this point. You know what I mean? So is it ever going to change where I'm going to get $1,000 or $2,000 or $8,000? No, probably not. And if I have to pay $100, does it really make that much of a difference? No. So in terms of the taxes, I look at stuff like that, and like the carbon tax, like, yeah, those stuff are annoying, but I think I look at it more of like how it affects the country. And for some reason, I care about the how other countries perceive our country.
So I think that's the worst thing to look at. I see that. I feel that too. I want to be a proud Canadian. And if I'm only getting my opinion off of Twitter, then it's so skewed.
For sure.
It's so skewed to the negative and the gossipy side.
For sure.
I think some of it's fun, like is Trudeau fucking Castro's son? You know what I mean? Like,
like that.
I don't want to feel like a worldwide conspiracy that our country is manipulated by like a world government, like the World Economic Forum. You know what I mean? Like trying to get us to be in a compliant type of way. Like, I fucking hate trying to feel compliant, but I do want to like comply. You know what I mean? Like, I do want to do what's best for the country, even like in a COVID way, like wearing my mask, getting my fucking vaccination shot. Like, I don't find nefarious political things in that at the beginning. Mm-hmm. Where I do start to see it in a way, and I'm not blaming the or where I get where I start to look sideways at the current government at any time. Not just it happened. Well, it's happening now here for this one, but it happened before. And I mentioned this is what I mentioned before when the Liberals came in and legalized weed, and the conservative side was that they were never going to do it. In my mind, they were purposely losing the election. Mm-hmm. Like, because like that was the turning point. Like, why can't you concede on this one point? Like, you can still be tougher on crime, but just don't. If that's their stance, you can have that same stance too. Yeah. Like the conservative government's not going to come in and take that away anymore.
But they can't take it away. But so you're saying they're losing to get that in.
That's so the whole country prospers with a new tax.
Yeah, because they're catering to a certain.
No, but as a general, as we as Canada gets to make more money. Like, there's just a natural cycle. Like, we get bored of the blue.
It's two teams. It's not one team. It's 5 teams. It's not one team, right?
Yes. It's only 2 teams. It's not 5 teams. I wish it was. I would vote. I'd like to vote for the Green Party to make sure that there's a 5th team.
Yeah.
That's the only reason, just to fuck with the system. Because the system needs to be checked every now and then.
For sure.
And in my own conspiratorial mind, I'm not even saying they're fucking with their monocles and cigars saying, okay, now you go. But part of me is saying like, yeah, you know what? Let's just tax this weed.
Well, they're not a bunch of dumb people.
So, but as a hard criminal stance policy for their political party, it's like, no, we can never justify publicly supporting weed being legal.
Yeah.
So you know what? Hey, your guys' turn. And then they go in. And as a kid, I said on this show before, the same thing happened with GST. Like, oh no, we're not the tax party. Here, you guys come in, fucking like bring in this tax party, and then we'll come in and we're not going to get rid of it. So they have this, but so I saw that. So that's when I voted Liberal for fucking thing. And then for the rest of the time, it's just like I don't like I think the government should have some time to get their policies in check.
They do.
If you check them every 4 years, I don't know if that's a policy. Like in the States, it seems so chaotic that every 4 years or whatever, it just switches so fast that 8 years might not be enough for you to even get every policy in. Like Obama knew he only had 8 years.
Yeah.
Like you can only do so much for that whole time. And that whole time, they were just fighting against each other. The House of Representatives would veto every bill that the Democratic policies were trying to get through. So whatever. So I just see this thing back and forth, and it doesn't affect me as much, other than our country's starting to look like this to other people, or my taxes are getting like this. Really, I don't want to be a criminal for the weed, so I'm going to vote for that party. That was my single issue voting stance at that time.
Yeah.
And most of the time, I guess that's when I start to get involved. If I become with a single voting, like issues concentrated, not like feelings, like it has to be blue or red. It's like, oh, what's this policy? Immigration's never bothered me that much, even with this migrant thing, which seems to be such a big deal.
Yeah.
Like I think it's big. I don't know if it's just my algorithm thing, but just like migrants coming from everywhere, not just the States and all that, and just like being housed in hotels and all these kind of things. It's like, I don't know if it's as big as Twitter.
That doesn't bother you?
It kind of does.
It doesn't, which goes to my perception of the country. It doesn't bother you that people look at Canada and be like, "Oh, I come here. It's an easy con."
It's not the only one. They're doing it in the States. They're doing it in Germany,
but
in England, and
we know
everywhere.
the States is not as easy. It's not as easy in the States. Germany is a little easier, but when you look at countries like Sweden and Switzerland, where it's damn near impossible, and where their status is and how they're perceived, I just don't think that it should just be looked at as just as easy. I just hate a lot of things where, because, for example, you travel to another country, all they know is whatever's shown them on the news. They don't know what you and I know about our country. And so when you go there and they have this perception of Canadians, which is kind of hard and vague to say, that's just how we're seeing.
But you're doing it to Sweden now.
And I love it.
Yeah, but that's your perception of you, and I get it.
Absolutely.
I like that. Listen, I like that closed. I don't think it should be as easy, but I'm also I'm just comparing it to the rest of the Western world that has to be a haven for some kind of places. I don't think it should be as unchecked as it might be.
Yeah.
But I also, like I said, when my perception is like when you look at it through the States and they got like these fucking caravans coming through the fucking like Mexico through the Texas border, like all that, so like it just seems too unchecked to me. Like I don't get that. I don't, because I'm here, I don't think I should say nobody else could come. Mm-hmm. I do think there should be some checked immigration policies and whatever it is, but I'm not sticking my nose in it. Like I might think it's too liberal.
You're not voting because of it?
I'm not voting because of that. That's not such a part of it. I don't find that it's as unchecked as some other countries.
Yeah.
And as
for sure
could be. I'm also not voting for anybody that's putting an instant stop gap on it. I agree. The other side does have more conservative views on it, and I really like those conservative views on it. It wasn't enough for me to vote for them when weed was involved.
Yeah.
There's nothing else stopping me from going back to that side right now on that issue. And I kind of see it. It doesn't inform me as much. The thing that's kind of got me more involved is this carbon tax.
Yeah.
And like it's the problem that I have with it is that I hate climate change talk.
Why is that, Jay?
Because it's all theoretical. Like I do see the icebergs falling.
Yeah.
I do see there is an issue going on.
Yeah.
Like it's such a big talked about topic, and I don't know my everything.
But we don't know because we nenever seen ourselves really.
What do you mean?
Have we? Canada had the warmest winter ever.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking snowing right now today. So unless this week becomes the worst snow week of the fucking year, I haven't had to use this snowblower all week. Winter's only got hand jobs for me all fucking year. No blowies for the fucking snow. And it's fine by me. Like I have no fucking stake in the future, Brian.
Yeah,
I get my Neuralink. I might last tops 150. You know what I mean? Like whatever you're talking about. Who fucking knows?
Yeah.
Right? Like half of that, right? But the fucking fact is I'm not burning it as I go out. I do feel that. That's why even the immigration part, like our work is a fucking perfect example. Most of them aren't stupid. Yeah. Most of them are just looking for an opportunity.
Yeah.
Most of them are not fucking pushing back on that opportunity and writing every single form that this fucking liberal fucking workplace has given them.
Yeah.
Right? Like they recognize it's only a fucking few bad a few bad actors or whatever you want to say, a few weirdos that fucking go against the grain. This carbon tax thing seems to me like the biggest. I'm not even saying hoax. I'm not saying I'm not denying it, but to taxes on it when we're barely fucking surviving.
Absolutely.
Like we make a good living, like you know what I mean? Like we're all doing what we can to make money and we fucking survive. you're gone down to a fucking one car household now, not just because of money, but a little bit because of money. I'm having a fucking budget. Like other people are complaining about prices of groceries.
Oh God.
Right? Like you fucking don't want your kids to eat. Your kids get like 3 bananas a week. That's all they get. You told us last week.
They don't get that much. They don't get that much.
Apples and oranges too, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Right? So you recognized it. Like is now the time? He's even said, so at first I'm like, fuck, okay, like just bite the bullet. It's another thing. And then the more I hear about it, the more pushback that our citizens and the other political parties are having on what's going on with Trudeau and the current government seem right to me. Like I reckon, like it's registering to me, right? Like some of these other things are like registering me. And the tax thing comes to me just like, this is it's a combination of a money grab and a legacy defining factor. Like the people that are involved in making this policy, when I see them talk, they say that we just have to trust them. And they've shown me no trust in the fucking, I haven't even brought up the app, the Can Arrive app, which I had to use a bunch of times. Coming from Vegas.
How did that work?
It was a joke. It was just a fucking pure joke. As you're doing it, you're just doing bureaucratic red tape. Every single thing we had to do for COVID was like a bureaucratic red tape thing we did. This was an app version of it. This is a travel version of it that you just, okay, I have to do it. You know what I mean? You didn't care whatever the pay was. But then you see how that was implemented and the pushback by the opposition. Like it was a scam. Yeah. Money, like friends were given this Arrive Can app, which was supposed to save our country. You know what I mean? Like be us safe. And the proper fucking steps weren't made for that. That's just like the states bombing Iraq and then fucking the vice president gets to rebuild Iraq, right? Like they're in on the scam from the get-go. Yeah. And so it really put a bad taste in my mouth. I was like, fuck, yeah, that's bullshit. And I just don't want to reward that with any more things. So I kind of see that acting. So I don't trust you for that. You're giving me this huge increase. Our fucking everything is going up. Yeah. This is such a general thing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's not even like a GST where here's a little percentage on this actual $100 item you're buying. This is just like, yeah, the air might be a little dirty.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing I have the issue with is it's going to cause literally our entire lifestyle to go up. Nothing is not going to be affected.
And and the guy who's like talking, saying it'll be like, and it's not even Trudeau, it's somebody else, but saying like, it's like in 2060 is when we might see the zero carbon benefit of this.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to pay for your fucking experiment for 2060 when we are just Canada.
You're not even going to be around in 2060. But I'm talking about the politician.
I mean, neither too. But but this is where it is. But his legacy will. He's even stated it. Like this, Trudeau's even stated like he's kind of getting tired of this game. Like maybe I should get out. Like the second you say that, I don't want you to be there. Yeah. You're not making decisions for the current. I get you have to balance future and current things, but we all live too much in the current. I can't be. It might be. Am I ignorant to fucking say like this is not this your decision that might be affected by 2060 isn't something we should be doing now?
I think that's a very long outlook because. Like if like we were saying, like if you only have 8 years to do something, and Canada's different, but if you only have 8 years to do something, why are you looking 8 times 5 ahead of you? That's for the next government or the government after that. You know what I mean? They can affect their things a lot more than this carbon tax, because this carbon tax can get thrown out, which is one of the things why you said you're leaning more towards conservative, which I've already been thinking about going that way, but it's just so far out that it just seems like a scam. I completely agree with you. I think this is freaking ridiculous.
I'm even willing to say that it's not a scam more so than they expect it to work, and then he expects a fucking statue of some kind in some fucking environmental fucking sanctuary.
What, a green tree statue?
Yeah, like oh, Trudeau. You know what I mean? Like back in 2024, he was the leader of this new green revolution.
I would say that too, but he's already proven that a lot of stuff has been a little bit too shady. And like the old saying says, where there's smoke, there's fire.
But even that statement is so egocentric to me. I don't like all leaders. They're all everybody's ego like has
Yeah,
that in them.
yeah.
But I don't want to reward that. Like you publicly saying it like that. Like that's
Oh,
all
he
you
said
have
it
now.
publicly.
But that's all you. So if all you have now is your legacy defying actions,
Maybe to fix his legacy.
that's fine. But I don't think in his head he realizes how other people perceive his legacy. I think he still thinks he's the wonder boy that can't do no wrong.
Yeah.
And this is just a part of that. Once you're that, he's a booby problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's overstepping. You know what I mean? Like just stay in your lane a little bit. Like you know what I mean? Like know what kind of leader you are. And so this is more of a, just like you, he wants the world example to be on this environmental side. And then it comes with all this vague carbon tax. And it's just, there's no real pinpoint to it. It's just be like one day, like, you know what? We took readings in Hamilton and boy, were they ever bad. And then we're like fucking like, so we have to raise the taxes.
Yeah.
That's the only way that people know.
Yeah.
And
well, what about the readings in Saskatchewan?
oh yeah, no, sorry.
Yeah.
We'll get to them. Or even what I was saying when my problem with the EV mandates.
Yeah.
Like, and you're not defined on one side, but your side was just like, oh, as a human race, we will figure out a way to, you know what I mean? Like, we have to implement this ones to get more mass use of these kind of products.
For sure.
But then you still like, there's fucking like, what is my EV going to do when I'm driving from fucking Yellowknife to fucking Edmonton? Or between Edmonton and Calgary? Like it works in Toronto. It doesn't work in the middle of the country.
Yeah.
And all this shit gets affected by I'm not standing up for fucking Saskatchewan or anything right now, but like it just doesn't make sense. We're using our city policies on the whole country, which doesn't really, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't come to effect. I want to use our whole country to, like let more immigrants come, build my house. Our houses are worth more. These neighborhoods, they come in, it changes stuff. But you know, like whatever, that kind of change is good on a low curve.
Yeah.
You can't bring a whole fucking culture onto a new shift and expect it to go fucking smoothly.
That's true.
Right? Like, so I don't like that mass migration part in that kind of sense. But like I said, that's above my pay grade. I have a choice now because you're telling me this
For
is
now.
What do you mean? Oh, I see. You showed my wife how much I can make if I go on nights, and that'll be the only thing that can change our way. She can quit her job and go work somewhere else for nights, but she's gonna have to work a lot harder if she quits her job.
Yeah.
She runs that place quite well. So yeah, like it's not even I was expecting like a heated political debate. I'm not trying to tell people what they should do. I'm trying to just tell people what I want to do.
And that's vote conservative.
I will be voting conservative.
Your mind's already made up.
Yeah, my mind's 100% made up. I was so happy when I've read about all this shit, and like for the past month or so. I mean, I'm sure it's been in the pipeline longer than that, but on my feed, it's just built up more speed. And that the guy's gonna, because I don't know how our politics work compared to everybody else's, but it's fucking a little fucked up. I'm sure they all are. That he can make some kind of non-confidence vote.
They already did that.
Yeah, and I was happy for that.
Yeah.
That's fine by me.
It's already done though.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
Got completely squashed. They already failed.
So he couldn't get that going.
No.
Yeah, see,
That happened. I think that happened today. Yeah.
So that makes me feel a certain way.
Yeah, because they're a majority party. It's majority party. It's kind of annoying because I, as a citizen, don't understand how he got through that vote.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It's
I'm not saying that I'm going to
ridiculous.
get what I want, but like, so they'll just have to like wait for it. So in my mind, like I knew, like I'm just happy that it was happening. I didn't expect anything. I don't expect anything from any of these people.
Yeah.
Right? That's the best thing you can do. I was happy that he wanted to do it. Like it would be like, I can assume like if I was in Quebec and wanted to separate and I would vote yes for a referendum, like it made me feel happy that somebody was trying to stand up for the policy that I wanted to be implemented at the time.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. I wouldn't have voted to leave like Canada, Quebec, or whatever, but I can see why people would have if they were in that position.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to like that's the part about talking politics is I don't want to come across as you have to do this or you should do it like this. You know what I mean? Like
But
that's
you should.
what I should say it like that. That's
No,
what you
they
want to
should.
say.
They should.
Or they should separate?
No, they should vote conservative.
Oh, yeah. So all you can hope for is that all these things just make people change people's minds.
I think, I mean, you'd be surprised, but I think there's no way it's not going to happen. The change is not going to happen. But then again,
Like, you know what doesn't sway me? But I don't do anything about it. So say aid to like Ukraine or aid to Gaza or something
That
like
doesn't
that.
bother you?
No, because I don't know what the real right answer is. Like, I don't think people are complicit in genocide if they have pick a side on the Gaza and the Jews type of thing. Like, it's just bigger than I can. Like, it's not a one word answer, right? Like, it's. I have opinions, but they're just. I don't think they're educated enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I do lean on the side of that there should be some aid. I don't know. Like, I would rather fix this country than give foreign aid.
Why can't we just put out a tweet as a country?
Yeah, but then that's not what our great reputation is. Like, you already have our reputation around the world.
Yeah,
exactly. I don't mind that we're like more liberal sided, that we can be a sanctuary place for places.
Because we're the richest country in the world.
Obviously, we're not the richest country in the world.
All right, okay.
But I don't. Yeah, okay. I just personally couldn't turn the boat around. Like, I couldn't stare at that boat.
You can sink it.
Yep. I think you're a little bit more talk than you fucking are, because you're not ready to let go of your idiot at work.
I know. I'm a little more hard stance on certain things like that. I do freaking kind of think that we should be a little more, put a little bit of walls up. That's all I think.
I have the tendency. I fight against it because I don't know if it's right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. I try to put myself in the positions of that. I think I feel that way because I feel people take advantage of it.
Yeah.
But in saying that, then you're throwing out the people that actually need it, right? Like in that, like, this getting better at it will still help the people that are good at it, that need it.
Mm-hmm.
But you're never going to get, like, it's a fool's errand, I think, to be good at it.
Yeah.
I think the desire to do it is fine. I do think, like, it's part of it is a guilty feeling, like, because I benefit from being here, and I don't want to just I fight against just, like, wanting to keep it for myself.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I just don't get to do that. Like, I told you about the guy walking out of the hospital at that time. Like, hey, this place has changed. It's like, I know what you're getting. Like, the fucking, you didn't go for the, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, he's not saying it's changed for the better as he's walking out of a brand new hospital. You know, like, I don't want to be that guy, and I'm not close to being that guy. I find that mindset is that guy, right? And so, but it's just, that's why the immigration thing doesn't sway me on that. Like, this carbon thing is just like whatever. This is kind of where the rubbers meet the road, and I'm not agreeing with all the fuck Trudeau signs and all that kind of thing. Like, I'm not on their side, but that's been going on for years now.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't you know what I mean? It isn't new. And so there's just enough pushback. My only other pushback comes from, and this is more of a conservative side, and I don't know, was, and again, it seems from out west as well, is where they, like, banned, like, puberty blocking medicine, like letting kids decide if they're going to be transgender or not.
Yeah.
Or, like, you know what I mean? Like, and most of it came from, it seemed to me like a lack of parents' rights. Like, you're responsible for not letting your kid get a face tattoo, but your kid can decide if they're going to, like, block their puberty, like, to change their whole bodies.
It's ridiculous.
And I'm not trying to deny an adult, you know what I mean, like, whatever gender stuff, you know what I mean, like, they're going through, but you can't let kids, like, I was happy to see the conservatives win some arguments where, and if you watch the fucking stuff, like, the liberal side, they're walking out of fucking meetings, they're not letting other people, like say their side of the argument, just for, like, the idea that maybe your 8-year-old might think they're a girl.
Yeah, I think it's so dumb.
I do too. I do. And then that might be a person, but they might be gay. They don't know who they are yet. They're 8 years old.
Exactly.
They're 12 years old. They're 14 years old.
They still want to wear costumes and run around.
They think they're Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I'm not equating an adult who's in the wrong body and whatever that situation is that I don't understand. I can't. I'm trying to, but leave the kids out of it. And so I find that this Trudeau side of government is this, like, all, for some reason, like, they don't see that, like, that negative side of letting a kid choose that.
Maybe they do see that, and they see that the audience, that the voters that they want will vote for them and keep them in office.
That is bang on, and that's gross.
Yeah, I agree.
And I recognize that. That's what I couldn't fucking put it in better words. I recognize that they recognize that, and I hate that. Yeah. And I don't think the other side is doing it just because there's another side to it. I think they actually feel that this isn't right.
Yeah.
Like, you don't placate. Like maybe somebody has to wait till they're 18 to take these blockers or whatever it is.
Seems reasonable.
It does seem reasonable.
It seems reasonable. Maybe it's just me and you because I feel the same way. But is it because we just connect with those topics, with those policies? Because like I imagine the people who connect with the more liberal policies are like, they get me too.
They have to. They do. But I think it's just a more of a like overreach, or they're just catering to the people that want that idea. They're not like thinking of what the consequence is. Like I might have to recognize that I don't know what I'm talking about, this carbon tax. Maybe the environment is way more fucking precarious than I think it is. Mm-hmm. But you're actually talking about my dollars and money, and this, we're still not over COVID with fucking supply chains and fucking how much everything gone up.
I know.
Right? Like it's just weird how this whole,
and this carbon tax was supposed to come in like a couple years ago. I think it was supposed to come in during COVID, and then they delayed it.
Yeah, so they're just chomping at the fucking bit to take more money. Yeah. Like it's not like it's just like I said, it's more of a legacy defining act for somebody who's half a fucking foot out the door already.
Yeah. And unfortunately this policy is not going nowhere because there is no vote before that.
Yeah, so they'll come in, but the problem is by the time the other government gets in, this tax will be so fucking implemented.
Next year.
What?
Next year.
Yeah, but the whatever. I think this is a tax we're always going to have to pay for.
I think that we're going to get rid of it just like we got rid of stickers for our cars.
Oh, that's true.
I think that's going to happen. I think if the conservatives are going to run on this for sure, and I think that's
yeah, I do think it's going to be the death knell of fucking that side.
Yeah,
but like he's already. So I've been able to avoid thinking about politics in that kind of way or just doing it, but this has annoyed me to a point where I fucking see it and I hate it. And every time I see this guy talk now, like, when I see Trudeau talk, I can't.
You're just like,
I fucking can't. I look at him like I look at fucking Biden and Trump.
Yeah.
Like I can't, I hate fucking Biden so much, but I hate Trump even more.
Yeah.
Like I hate him because he's only just a benefactor of being in the position against the fucking weakest opponent you could ever fucking have. Like that, this liberal side has taken over that country so much, and their representation is a fucking disaster.
Oh my God.
And then he gets to come in with this like kind of half-assed common sense approach, you know what I mean, or whatever it is, and it resonates because the other side has zero connection.
Yeah.
And it could be such a different person. Like it could be like I don't want to stump for anybody, but like the Robert Kennedy Jr. guy makes more sense to me most times. And then he goes and says that he would have Aaron Rodgers as his VP, and I'm like, you're gone.
Oh,
like you're a fucking idiot. Like why would you do that?
Oh my God.
Like that's the worst thing you could ever see. Like so it's just like you're all for fucking show.
Yep, it's all
even the ones that make the most sense. Like are you part of it? Like I guess
that's politics, man.
And then I just feel fucking defeated. There is no victory for me in any kind of this thought.
Yeah.
I just feel defeated. Like I feel played all the time. And like you said, this is a majority government, so they get to fucking float out this like carbon tax thing or this, that, and just like you eat it.
Yeah.
You fucking don't, you can just feel underrepresented or whatever you feel when it's the fucking trucker rally or that, it doesn't affect me at all.
Yeah.
Because like I had to get vaccinated. I've traveled the border. I had to do these things that you think like, are their fault. It's not their fault. You know what I mean? Like it is. And so, but I wasn't living in it. Like I'm kind of, and I don't want to live in this. I just notice it more.
That's true.
And just like, fuck it. Everything's going to go up and nobody fucking seems to care. So when somebody does care, I feel like I want to hear them. You know what I mean? Or whatever, care about the same thing. So I would imagine for you, excuse me, like the gender stuff, like that, the blocker stuff, like the kids' rights stuff when it comes to that is important because you're it's not like against your authority of the way, but just like you're taking some of your responsibility or whatever, like taking stuff out of your hands. Like how are you going to be legally letting them make their decisions by themselves and everything else is on me, and now I can't, like I'm the one who's in the wrong for this one thing that seems to be a rallying point to get more supporters. Up. So I would definitely see, if I was you, I would be even more involved. Like, you know what I mean? Like more, I guess not involved, more frustrated. Maybe you are. I just don't know.
Yeah, I know. I'm not that frustrated about it. We're still in the way where we can still make our decisions and have it like they're not kicking down our doors, making sure we do these things
True.
to our kids, right? So it's not like it's a law to do certain things. So that's why it doesn't really bother me that much because I'm still going to do what I got to do
you
or
think
what I want to do.
Do you think the perception is that's what it's coming to? I guess that's like the far side.
I don't think the perception is that, but people think that.
That's what the perception would be. That's what I mean. I think, but like
in general, I don't think like the common perception is that.
No. I no, you're right. The extreme perception, like that's what it's coming to.
Well, they've been saying this place is going to be like north. It's funny. So we were at where we were talking to. So Nate, here we're going to name drop. He immigrated here from the States, right? And he's been here like 13 years or some shit. And so we were talking with him and someone else, and then we were talking about North Korea. And I was like, I always see people online on Facebook say that Canada's becoming North Korea. Justin Trudeau is like the next freaking Kim Jong-un. And he's like, none of these guys have ever read anything about North Korea. And like, that's the extreme perception that this country is becoming like that country, which is not even remote. Like 80% of that country is like impoverished. Like what are you guys talking about? You cannot leave your country willingly, but people still, and I've talked to people who will actually defend that and say, yes, it is this extreme communist country and it's going to be North Korea and we're all going to be, especially during lockdown, locked in our houses. So yeah, I think that people don't know what they're talking about. That's
definitely what happens, and I'm guilty of that too.
Wait, you said we were going to be North Korea?
I've never said that. Oh. No, I've said I'm guilty of not knowing what I'm talking about. Like I'm guilty of them just taking advantage of the situation. I've never questioned my freedom in that sense.
Yeah.
Like I've always known the 9 doors to fucking go, but I've also known that they're available to me.
Exactly.
Right. Like I've also known. I don't. Like it's refreshing to hear you say that type of thing. But I've been around, like not in this political fucking arena and all that, but I've just seen that everything works out in a way.
Yeah.
Right. The scary thing is what can kind of get to where that line of thinking can sink in a little bit is that nothing's ever been what it's like now.
Yeah.
Like the ability to monitor people, like it's never really been like that.
It's crazy.
And if you live in it, you're just you live in it. You're like, it's all fine. It doesn't matter. Like it's going great. And it's hard to remember somebody who doesn't have a cell phone or somebody shopping online. Like it's always old. But if you are one of those people who remember what it wasn't like to do that, you know why it took you a second or two to want to do that.
Yeah.
And so like the reason's still there, but we've abandoned like our desire to care that much.
Yeah.
Like we've given over, you know what I mean? Like to the system. Right? Like the system changes no matter what we can do.
Exactly.
And so I'm just sitting back and I want to be one of the people that just kind of sit back and just like, what is this doing to us? Not knowing like, oh, we have to go this way or this is going to turn us into North Korea. That's, you know what I mean? Like why I want to be liberal in my whatever gender policies that come in. But I recognize it'll be, yeah, but we have age limits for everying else.
Exactly.
Why not this?
It's already part of society. If we're moving forward to regulate stuff like we've regulated everything, I was gonna say, because when you said age limits for everything, I was gonna say, well, they don't really do age limits anymore, but we just legalized weed with an age limit.
Still drive, vote,
right?
Everything you can't.
And those even are more legacy stuff, but like this is like the most recent thing. Why are they acting like you can't regulate this new thing?
Because they don't have the desire to. There is no real cap. The obviousness of regulating weed comes in because it's an ask. It's like, yeah, you know what? We all recognize this, but as adults, there's the word, as adults, we can choose. So we're putting this fucking limit on it. The gender thing is such an explosive topic and it's still in the unregulated phase. Yeah. So lots of fuckery can happen. It's all gray area. It doesn't, you know what I mean? It's like before they made acid illegal, people got to take acid.
Yeah.
You know, and so fucking people were fucking whatever. And then you realize, oh, was Nixon trying to control the hippies? Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't just for our safety. Mm-hmm. It was a control mechanism. And so that's, you know what I mean? Like that particular issue. When it comes to gender, like it comes to this, it's like it's so arbitrary and it's such an ideological idea. And it comes from a place of not wanting to discriminate. So everything gets to be labeled as discrimination if you fight against it.
I actually think ultimately it will be regulated by age probably around the world at some point, maybe 2060.
Just when we get the air in a perfect quality so we can all go out and enjoy it in our bikinis.
Then we'll all make sense.
I am, like I said, like I don't, like, yeah, like I've kind of sensed that around the world for a while, or like that kind of feeling. And until it gets regulated, it's not going to be regulated. So that's the first side of the conservative side, or the part of the conservative side that I started to be like listening, right? Like it made like some more common sense. Somebody's willing to step up.
Yeah.
And the other side wasn't just because it was adding more people to them.
Yeah.
Right. I felt the same way when I hear about the States, when the right is like the more Christians, the appearance seems to be the right is the more Christian side. Yeah. Right. Because their abortion stances or whatever, the church going thing. And it doesn't mean that there's not Christians on the Democrat side. It's just that they placate to these mega churches or this other side. You know what I mean? Like they get great groups of Christians. Yeah. And then that just leads to this side. But then when you push back on this other stuff, then that emboldens those Christian like ideals. And so they just like double down. They just look like the more common sense stuff. Yeah. But then you can go to a place like Texas, who has all these perceived like freedoms and liberties and like, you know what I mean? Like right-wing ideals, but weed's still not illegal there.
Yeah, you can't do shit.
Like, go ahead, enjoy, get high off your guns.
I would move to Texas.
Not until they get legal weed. I would even move to fucking Florida until they get legal weed.
Oh, true. Yeah.
So this has nothing to do with our carbon taxes. This is just a quick thing before we get out of here. And I'm going to jump back to something. But you are now a one-car household.
Yeah. Yes. So it is carbon tax.
Boom, boom. You're still going to get burned. That's fucking hilarious. So was it a hassle being a one-car household?
It hasn't been a hassle. No.
It would be for Tammy and I. It would be really, because Selena works from home. Is that the only real reason?
Yeah, like we were a one-car household like the beginning part of our relationship. We only became two-car household like maybe in the past 5 years because we never really needed, right? Maybe even less than that. And so, yeah, nothing has really changed. Our second car was rarely ever used. Maybe like 3 times a month, if that. Like, you know what I mean?
Was it a budget decision or just you just recognized this car is taking up space?
Well, it's like the car is there. When we went we changed the tires, ironically. We changed our tires and got an oil change, and we did our brakes like 2 weeks ago or like a week ago or some shit. It was 2 weeks ago. And we used our second car to go drop that car and then drive back. Well, we had to boost it. And it was like, oh yeah, we just replaced the battery last year because the same thing happened because we don't use it, so the battery doesn't stay charged. So we're like, are we going to spend another $100-something to buy a battery? Because what's the point of having a car you need to boost all the time? And what's the point of spending money on a battery that you're just going to need to boost next year because you don't drive the car? On top of that, the car needed winter tires and summer tires. We were always planning to drive this car till it died. Winter tires and summer tires, and just had a minor leak in the exhaust, which I could have fixed at work. I could have fixed at work. So no. Yeah, exactly. So that was ultimately this decision. Like, there's no point. It's just sucking money for no reason. Literally no reason for twice a month convenience.
Yeah, no, it makes all the sense in the world when you said it to me before, and you said like, just like, for some reason I compared to myself, like, could I ever do that? Not that we've even thought of, but it's just it's never going to be
not an option. No,
not even that. Like, just like, I can't imagine just not that I need the freedom to just get in my car and go, or Tammy just needs to get in her car and go. It's just weird. Like, I just always had my own car since I've been like 19 years old.
Oh yeah.
Right. Like, and so whatever. So I had that thought. Then I remembered, and it like makes sense. But a few episodes ago, we talked about, I don't know what we were talking about, but it might have been that when we're talking about Hamilton, and then when you lived in Hamilton and you had to take a bus to the train, to the fucking bus.
That was
so. Were you a no car household at one point?
No, we were never a no car household.
Oh, that's what I was gonna ask.
But like in that situation, Selena worked. She didn't really work from home. She worked in Mississauga, and I worked in Guelph from Hamilton.
So
yeah,
whose car? So this is how into the relationship were you guys? Like how long? Like so, whose car? Like was it your car? Like was it our car? Did we have a car or did you have a car?
No, my car was gone at that point, so this was her car.
Yeah, okay,
But I think because she's the
Boss?
you know, you got to be more chivalrous to your women.
okay,
to your
no,
wife,
that's fine.
right?
Too sexy for the bus. That's fine.
I was fine with I didn't mind. I don't mind the go bus, so I was like, whatever.
Well,
Let's
somebody
jump
had to
on
do
the
it.
go bus.
So you volunteered to be the one that that had to take that fucking horrendous bus trip.
Like when I got the job, I was just like, yeah, I'll just take the bus because this was before because at that point I thought you could do it. Hamilton's like right below Guelph.
Yeah.
But the buses don't go straight.
There's no express.
Then when I realized that, okay, so you mean to tell me we both have to go to Mississauga first?
That's hilarious.
At 2 different times
Yeah, that's
of the day?
hilarious. No way. You're on the train, she's in the car.
Right? And so it was like, yeah, so it was just that, but it turned out okay. Also, at that point, I had a motorcycle, so I was only in the winter, and in the summer, I would just ride my bike to work.
Did you have your bike insured the whole year and you would hop on it whenever it was not snowing in March?
Yeah, right.
Or that?
No, I would never. I'm kind of spoiled brat. I would never ride my bike if it wasn't warm enough. I remember a couple times I used to ride back from work and like going over the Skyway in late night because I worked afternoons. Late night with the wind blowing, you are freezing.
Oh, of course.
Freezing.
So I can't even imagine.
But going to work was fun. You're on a bike.
Going to work was fun? What?
You're on a bike.
How dare you?
Maybe that's how I got deluded to how I am. Like now I have the habit that going to work is
You haven't been on that bike for fucking 100 years. You still itching? Would you still get a bike? Not itching. That's not. You're not like jumping. You've mentioned it. It's not out of your head yet.
I do want a bike. I just don't know if
it's out of my head.
Yeah, I don't know because I know I probably won't ride it as much as I think I will.
Yeah, it's not so. Yeah, I guess that it's. Is any part of you worried that you would get hurt?
No.
Like that's good. I don't know when that will come in.
Yeah, exactly.
Like eventually, you know what I mean? Like once you like are hurt from fucking working all day, like you know what I mean? Like whatever. Like
yeah, then you're gonna be like fuck work.
I can't go on a bike. You know what I mean? Like I can't imagine going on a bike after working all day now. My body would be so sore. I mean, I know you don't do much physical stuff anymore. It's all mental.
No. Yeah, and you too. You'll be the same boat too. We can. It's all right. It's all right.
See that, baby? He wants me to replace Booby. I don't know. I'm not into this guy on my back, man.
Not replace Booby. I want you to support Booby until he cannot be supported.
Like be a Booby bra. I heard all about bras, Booby. I didn't know if so. I know you're behind on Big Brother.
Yeah,
you're way behind, right?
Yes.
So I don't even know if you've. I don't want to talk what's going on. The only thing that I was not even bug you is recognize is that one of the prizes is your car.
Yes.
Like, does that make you feel a certain way?
Yeah.
That they are fucking loving your car.
Oh man.
Like your car is the luxury item that's being given to the fucking
that's
prize.
That's kind of crazy.
That's nice, man.
Yeah. You know.
I was like, hey man, there's my buddy's car. They're fucking giving it away.
The prizes are crazy this year.
So what do you feel a certain way about what?
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, do you feel a certain way about the product placement that happens on the show?
It's normal for Big Brother Canada now, but it's so annoying sometimes.
It's super annoying. They've gotten better at kind of implementing it though, but it's so fucking apparent.
Yeah, like you couldn't afford this on your own global. Like this, but
that's how you make make more money.
Yeah, for
sure. It's a great sign. Like it's beneficial
decision.
For them.
Yeah,
I bet you the American one does it, but like once in a blue moon. Like they never, like not everything has a sponsor to it.
Yeah.
Like I remember last year, like the fucking water pick fucking Power of Veto fucking challenge.
Oh yeah,
like, come on, like whatever, man. But I think I'm a little bit used to it now.
Have you watched Blown Away?
No, I haven't yet. Season 4?
Yeah.
No, I've got too many other things. Tammy doesn't watch it, so I haven't found my own time to watch it yet. I can't believe you still fucking watch it.
Of course.
I thought you mocked me.
When I see that shit coming out, when I saw it was coming soon, I was like, look what's coming back. Like, are you serious?
I said that too.
So, you know that's filmed in Canada, right?
Yep, I do. I know exactly where it is.
You know where it is?
Yeah, right off the Don Valley Parkway.
I'm going to spoil something for you. Okay. Not winners. They have upped the prices tremendously.
No way.
They win money every challenge.
Nice.
And the grand prize is more.
So I think that I've had some shit.
Yeah.
I've had some kind of weird attachment to this show, knowing that it was in Toronto.
Yeah.
I remember fucking telling you about this show before,
Yeah.
and so I got you on the blown away train.
Absolutely.
And I've loved it every time. Each new season that comes up, I get super stoked.
Yeah.
And then I saw the same thing. It said season 4. This is weird. Like, it's not that I'm hanging on to it. Like I know it's there.
Yeah.
Like I'm not, you know what I mean? Like I know I don't have to watch it. And so I got other things that I'm fucking watching that I haven't got to it yet. But it's a show that I watch by myself because Tammy thinks I'm a bit of a fucking something. Like she sees different than me for watching this show.
That show's great. I love it.
It's so artistic.
Yeah.
It's the most artsy fartsy fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
When
But it's still so you know, how do I say? Like they're in a sweatshop. They call it the hot shop, but it's like a sweatshop. Everybody's sweating all over the place. It's dirty.
Yeah, it's artsy fartsy, but it's close to what I like. Not,
Yeah.
but I feel connected to it because of the fire.
Yeah.
Fucking like the blacksmithness of it all. Like it's not just the art and the beauty of what they like. It's how they make it. Like that's what they've. So anyway, by the time it gets to like a season 4, this is a global appeal.
Yeah.
Like it's not just me and my stupid way of thinking about things or whatever. Like my connection to it. It's like, oh, everybody gets this.
Oh, it's in the top 10.
I know. Yeah, the fact that it's
Netflix
fucking going.
Yeah.
You remember when I fucking talked about getting the Home Alone set from Toronto?
Yeah.
If you remember, I fucking I got stuck in the huge traffic jam coming back.
Yeah.
Right. And when I went there, I didn't realize the fucking this is too local, but I didn't realize that the highway, like the Gardner, stopped, and I couldn't get off to the beaches where I wanted to, and I had to go up the Don Valley.
Yeah.
So coming home was the big story, but if you remember, getting there was a bit of a story too. So I had to go up the Don Valley and get off at the next exit. As I got off that next exit, you drive by the glass, like the brickworks where it is.
Oh, they changed it this year.
What do you mean? It's not the same place?
No, it's in Hamilton now.
Come on.
The largest hot shop in North America.
They moved, so
that's what they say. It's filmed in Hamilton, the largest hot shop in North America.
So 100% is in a different shop. You know, could you you remember the other shop?
I don't know if it really looks like a different shop. When I was reading on it, they said it's in Hamilton.
Yeah, so they moved. It was right off the Don Valley Parkway in Toronto.
I'm gonna spoil one more thing for you.
Come on, stop it.
They don't have the same host anymore.
What? Wait, both of them are gone? The chick and the fucking nerdy dude?
The chick is still there.
Oh, the nerdy dude is gone.
The dude is gone. They changed hosts as well.
I bet you they have one of the old winners.
That's all I'm gonna spoil.
Is
for
it
you.
the?
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. You know what's even odder is I saw one of the winners on a different reality show.
Really?
Doing something else. I can't remember what it is now.
Oh, Jay, what the hell?
No, I know. I'm sorry. Well, you fucking left me fucking hanging on fucking some spoilers. What the fuck was? Oh man, it was like another creative fucking show, and
did they win?
I don't fucking remember it at all. But there were other semi reality star people type of things on it. Like each person had one, and so she was doing part of a team thing. And I just recognized, like, oh, that's a chick that won fucking Blown Away.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been on my thing.
Yeah.
You know what we just started watching was The Gentleman.
Oh, I haven't watched that yet. I've heard good things, though.
So my buddy Kay at work, he fucking said something about
Yeah.
it. He and I've right away when I saw the trailer or saw like it was coming, it was like, oh, that looks like I think I might want to try that.
Like they have a great cast.
They do. Oh boy. So this is hilarious. So a few weeks ago, I wanted to try to watch it. And I put it on, like, and Tammy was in a fucking terrible mood. She was, thank God she wasn't mad at me. She was just mad at the world, or there's just something was, you know what I mean? Like fucking, she had a burn her saddle or something was going on. And I don't know if it happens with you guys or whatever, but you ever like, or everybody does this. You start looking for, what do you want to watch tonight?
Yeah.
It's great when you know what you want to watch. And so we're going to have this. You got all these big brothers to watch. So you're good right now. So I'm just guessing this never happens to you. But we get this, like, what do you want to watch? And we're just like, we're stumbling for something to watch. And so nothing was registering with her. Like, no. I'm like, you want to pick? No. And And so whatever. She wasn't mad at me, but she was just not feeling anything. So I go, want to watch The Gentleman. And so, sure. Right? Like, no response. So, okay, great. And I'm just dying to watch this. I want to see it. We put it on. It was on for fucking 2 minutes.
And you turned it off?
And she was like, I don't want to watch this anymore. And I'm like, fucking, okay. And then so we found something else to watch. And I never brought it back up again.
No?
I was
so
like,
you haven't watched it again?
Until yesterday.
Oh.
And then fucking, and I've mentioned it before. We're like looking for other things. We got some other shows in the queue. And I was like, yeah, we got this, wouldn't mind watching it. Actually, what my favorite show right now is Deal or No Deal Island.
Oh, really?
I'm sorry. Like I'm sorry. Yep, I'm sorry. There's something to it. You don't like Survivor, but it's like fucking Big Brother and Survivor and Deal or No Deal all in one show.
That sounds fun.
It's not too shabby, man. Like I'm not sticking it out there all the time, but for some reason it's like my fucking jam right now. Okay? Deal or No Deal Island is out there. But whatever came in. So I kept bringing it up for a show to watch, and we really didn't have much last night. And so I was like, do you want to watch it? She said, okay. She recognized, like, I said you didn't want to watch it before. No, I was grumpy that day, like she recognized it. She just wasn't agreeing to anything on that. And it was fucking, I'm in. Yeah, I recommend that one for sure.
Good thing. So I'm probably going to try and watch that.
All right. Between that and how things are going at work, better for me, not so good for you.
Yeah, but hopefully it turns around. Hopefully. I want to thank everyone for listening to the Work Related Podcast.
We are Related by Work on Twitter.
X.
And thank everybody, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yep.